Hello everyone. On this video, I'm going to show you how we write scientific notation and how we interpret scientific notation when scientific notation is written and you are asked to write it in a normal form. This one, when it's written like that, times 10 to the power, here it's 10 to the power of something. So when it's written like that and then it says times 10 to the power, whatever power, this is the scientific notation. When it's written like that, it's scientific notation. So on a question paper, when they say write it in scientific notation, they want you to write it like that. So on this question, they've actually written it for us like that. In some question papers, they say standard form. In some papers, they say decimal form. So you will see by having the scientific notation and then they say write it in standard form. Then they mean you must take away this times 10 to the power 4. Let me show you how we do it. When it's, this one is 1, 2, 3. And then it says times 10 to the power 14. So what they mean is that you're going to move this comma to the right 14 times, as many times as the power. So you're going to move the comma from there to there. That's 1. Then you move it from there to there. That's 2. Then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the comma will be at the end of the number. What do you put here on these spaces? All the spaces will be represented by zeros. So you'll have a 0, there's 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 0, there. You don't do this in your question paper. You do this somewhere else. Now you go and write your answer. So your answer will be 1, 2, 3, and 12 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 9, 12. So this will be the normal notation or the standard notation of the scientific notation that is written. When you look, you do not write 14 zeros automatically. No, it depends where the comma is. So the comma had 2 digits. After the comma, there's 2 digits. So you have to move it 1, 2 first, then the other ones are the zeros. So when it's 14 like that, your zeros are actually going to be 12. So if you don't want to do it like that, if you get the concept, you can just every time count the number of digits that you have, subtract them from the power, and add that many zeros. Let's do it in that method now. Right, with our next example, I'm going to do it the easier way first, and then I prove it to you that you get the same answer. So here, this is 10 to the power 7. So you are supposed to move your comma 7 times. It does not mean you put 7 zeros. It means you move your comma 7 times. If I count the number of digits after the comma, 1, 2, 3. So I can subtract 3 here and be left with 4. So it means my number will have 4 zeros. It will be 2, 2, 4, 3, and 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, most learners, the mistake that they make, they will keep the comma there. This notation means you move the comma as many times as 7 times. So if your answer is 2, 2, 4, 3, and the zeros after the comma, they don't count. So you're actually making it wrong. So let's switch the long way. So it's 2, 2, 4, 3. You're supposed to move the 0 7 times. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So how many zeros must I add? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this number is exactly the same as that one. But you have to write it. Don't leave it like that. That's wrong. You're supposed to have 2, 2, 4, 3, and the 4 zeros. When the comma is still there, it's the same number as the other one. Now I want to show you when you are given the standard form and the question paper says write it in a scientific notation. Right, when you are given a standard form and they say to you write it in scientific notation, the rule is you're gonna move the comma until 1 digit. So the comma must be here, it must be 2 comma. So you move the comma until the last digit. So when you have a number like that, you see there's no comma anywhere. So when I say move the comma, you move the comma from where? If the number doesn't have a comma, there's an imaginary comma at the end. So you're gonna move that imaginary comma. And then every time you move it, you count. That is your exponent. So the imaginary comma is here. So I'm moving it to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 until one number. You must have one digit, then the comma. So I've moved it 8 times. Now, when I'm writing my number, it's going to be 2,38 times 10 to the power. How many times did I move the comma? To the power 8. Now, when you notice with this number, where all these zeros, if you have zeros and there is no number after them, they don't count, you don't write them. You don't write them on the scientific notation. But if I had a 1 there, I'll write all these zeros and the 1. But if it's only zeros with no number, they don't count, you don't write them. Let's look at another example. Okay, with this one, we're going to move the comma until one digit. So the comma will be here. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the comma will be there. So when you write, you don't do this in your exercise book. You do it in a scribbler somewhere. When you come with your answer, you go 4,273,24. Now, these zeros, we don't throw them away because there's a 1 after them. So it's 0, 0, 1. So your answer is like that. It's 2,273,440,001. But this number is very small. So something is missing. The missing part is times 10 exponent. How many times did you move the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the power 8. Okay, my example was not good. It doesn't mean every time it's to the power 8. Okay, let me do another one when it's not to the power 8. Right, let's look at this example. How many times am I going to move until I have one digit before the comma? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The comma will be there. So my answer will be 3,287. There is no number after these zeros, so I don't need to add them. Times 10 to the power. How many times did I move the comma? 6. So it's times 10 to the power 6. This is how you do scientific notation. Please practice. Practice is not something that is hard. You just need to practice it and then you get better. This is the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching.